the way from Dien Bien province, no, Solar province, to rescue Plum, the 240th bear to be rescued in Vietnam and now call the Vietnam Bear Rescue Centre home. They'll carry on up to our HQ where they'll clean the equipment. Oh, no, the truck has managed to get in front of the van. So the van will pull into here to unload, to take the Plum to quarantine. She'll spend the next 30 days here in our quarantine centre, and we set her up here because it allows her time to bond with her carers. It allows her to be protected from the other 192 bears we have living here while she settles into sanctuary life, and gives her some time to heal. And it also protects those 192 bears from any diseases that could come in. You can see the team setting up now, getting ready to unload her from the truck, and the van behind in typical Vietnamese fashion with party lights going on as the team welcomes. But of course it is a party when we get a new bear here and can bring them home. The team has been so excited. I know that many of you who are watching will be wondering what's happening with the cub Bamboo. She's on a slower journey back here. With a young cub, there's round-the-clock feeding and more care required. So her trip, we'll see her here tomorrow, whereas today we can rescue and welcome Plum. So it's been a very hectic last couple of days here at the Vietnam Bear Rescue Centre. And it's only because of our mission to end bear farming in Vietnam and make sure that no bear is left behind that we can provide the care with your support for these bears. But the Vietnam Bear Rescue Centre is running out of space. We agreed with the government that the Vietnam Bear Rescue Centre could house up to 200 bears. We've managed to find slightly more space here than that. But as you saw from the live event just a few weeks ago, we're launching our Maar Bear Sanctuary. Last week was the huge event to welcome the grounds where that Bear Rescue Centre will be built. Today's rescue was huge in Animals Asia's history. It was fully Vietnamese-led. For the first time, not only was the husbandry team led by a Vietnamese team member, but the vet team was as well. Our Vietnamese veterinary intern, Nguyen, led the entire rescue. We always prefer if we can do a cage transfer, transferring the bear consciously from their farm cage to one of our transport cages to bring them home. But there are other times, as many of you will have seen from our rescue events, where we have to use an anaesthetic. Nguyen made sure that that anaesthetic was done safely and nailed it. Absolutely successful. Transferred the bear, and she was assisted by fellow Vietnamese vet, Huong, another one of our Vietnamese veterinary interns. Now, both of these interns are going to complete the program this year and will go on to be junior veterinary surgeons at our Maar Bear Rescue Centre. So they are learning all of the care. It takes about 2 years to train these interns up, but Maar will be fully Vietnamese run, fully Vietnamese led, and a huge part of my job as a senior veterinary surgeon is to make sure that the vet team is well trained and well equipped and ready to care for the bears there. So the team here, they're planning for how they're going to transfer Plum in. Chen, who was on the rescue, our bear team manager, he's handing over to the team what they need to be aware of to execute this successfully. And then our receiving team will carry out the plan. Where after these hectic days, 2 long days of traveling and rescuing, we can't have the same team that rescued her receive her at the sanctuary. We need to make sure she's safely looked after. And so this is the handover period and briefing as both teams come together to provide the care for Plum. You can see there's both vets, vet nurses, bear team managers, supervisors and team leaders all part of this plan. I'm not sure how good the light is, but anyone in black has been on the rescue or is part of the rescue team, and anyone in our royal blue quarantine scrubs is part of the receiving team. We make sure that the receiving team and the quarantine team wears separate scrubs and clothes while they are caring for the bears in quarantine. It's change in, change out to ensure that they don't take anything around the sanctuary or bring anything from the sanctuary to the new bear while Plum is settling in that period. She's sitting patiently on the truck. It's been a long journey. Many of you will wonder why we don't act faster. Why don't we rush to get her off? We need to make sure it's safe for her. The best thing we can do is take 5 minutes longer. It might be 5 minutes of slightly more nerves for her, but it will make sure that she has the best experience rather than a rushed experience. So this truck has a mechanised lift. But yeah, and she's just patiently, I can see her looking, wondering what's going on. We're always careful not to refer to a bear as calm. We don't know how they show their stress, whether it's outwards or by quietly going inwards. But Nyan's just making sure that she'll take some sweet treats. This means that if we need to give any medicine or other treatments, we know that what she was already taking to be able to help us out. Nyan already found out that she prefers jam to honey, as many of the other bears will take. When she had her anaesthetised, she hasn't lost any limbs to a snare injury, which is good for her. Her canine teeth haven't been too badly damaged by the bars of the cage, so she requires no current dental work. And her eyes appear to be okay and healthy. We're just unloading the stuff around her to make it easier for the team to move her. The cage is on wheels, so they'll need to pull her away from the wall to unload her from the truck. All of the receiving team worked a full day along with the rescue team. And then the receiving team was lucky enough to be able to go home, have some dinner, see their families, and then came back to spend this time getting her settled in. It's great to have such a good team to be able to welcome Plum, an experienced team who know what they're doing. And so Little Bamboo, in case you're wondering, is still in Dien Bien province, being cared for by Hiep and Tai, our bear team manager and our vet there. We'll have some updates on them later, but tonight it's all about Plum. Plum is the last bear from Son La province, which also means that these Vietnamese vets who attended this rescue have now emptied 2 provinces of all of their farmed bears. You may have seen last year when they emptied Lang Song of all the bears. The last 3 bears to be rescued from there were done by Ngan, Huong, Tai and Han. And today, Ngan once again emptied another province as she led the rescue to end bear farming in Lan Son. Surprisingly, this is one of the undocumented bears that we know exist in Vietnam, and we work tirelessly to find. So other maps may have already shown that Lan Son was free. Sorry, Son La. Son La was free of bear farming. However, this bear was found by the authorities and confiscated. She spent 20 years on farm, we've heard, which means she wasn't microchipped when she was supposed to be, and so she's one of the illegally held bears. So they're just setting up to unload her now to keep her secure during transport. Yeah. So here is Kat, the vet nurse who attended the rescue.
How are you? Oh, thanks. Hang on, up the other way. Hi everyone, how you doing? So we have had a big day. The whole VBRC team has actually had a very big couple of days. You might have heard that we actually had the cub rescue, and then we actually had to split our team so we could go and rescue Plum. So she's an amazing girl. She's going to be such a sweetheart when she gets settled in. She had 20 years locked in a concrete box. And yeah, I think the only thing that she could really see out of that box was a little bit of the yard of the house which she was living in. So for her to actually be here where we can help fix her spirit, find out what we can do to help make her feel better from a veterinary point of view, and then get her out and let her personality shine. It'll be the first time she's actually going to be able to express her personality probably in 2 decades. So we are so super excited for all of this to happen. And I just have to say, I can't be prouder of our Vietnamese team. They did such a brilliant job today. They showed their professionalism, their skills, and yeah, so proud of them. It's incredible.
And so you'll see Plum unloaded soon. They've opened up the hatches to allow them to push her away from the wall. This helps with making less sound, but also makes it easier for the team to move her. And then closely watching her is Huong, who was the anaesthetist for the rescue. Beside her, and of course, you can't see these guys because they're watching the truck like you are, but is Han, who will be, along with Heidi, tomorrow leading the welcome of bamboo. We then have Pia, one of our new vet nurses, who's come over from the UK to help train our Vietnamese vet team and ensure that the project is there. And then a member of our security team just overseeing the whole operation, making sure that's all okay, especially being off-site after hours. So the team's just making sure they're fully coordinated before they move her onto the ramp. The cage that they're moving is incredibly heavy, and with a 200-kilo bear on board, that adds even extra weight to it. They need to balance it in just the right spot and then lower the ramp down. As you can see, Plum's handling this all in her stride. It's amazing what these bears still allow us to be able to convince them it's okay as they come home. And now she'll wheel off into the quarantine area where she'll settle in for the night. She'll be given some food, fruit and vegetables, probably the best meal she's had in the last 20 years. And Ngan will just do a final check over before she says that's it for the night. So as I said, the Vietnam Bear Rescue Centre is almost full. We have made a promise that we will rescue as many bears as we can with no bear left behind To do that, we need your help. We're building a new rescue centre, the Maanbeer Rescue Centre in southern Vietnam, that will be fully Vietnamese run, fully Vietnamese led, and it takes a whole community to build that. Everyone watching this is part of that community. Everyone who's able to donate is part of that community. Any help you can give to deliver that and make sure no bear left behind as we bring kindness to action in Vietnam. Thanks for any of your help. Thanks for passing on even our message so that we can reach anyone and everyone.